All right, welcome back to the live stream. If you guys are wondering why I took down that last live stream, it's because I didn't like the fact that I was riding my bike around. I was capturing too much. I wasn't answering enough of the questions in the live stream. So it was kind of just a roaming around the neighborhood live stream. But today I'm at the park, and today I'm not eating lunch at the park. Today I'm having poor people lunch. When I used to work at Walmart, one of my supervisor's favorite expression around his poor, pathetic, and as he often referred to, ugly employees were, I mean, he actually referred to his employees as ugly people. And so when you're working in retail, you have a tendency to have very, very few people who have better opportunities solely based on their physical appearance, because it's not something they tell you in school, but a lot of how much money you're going to make in the future has a lot to do with your overall physical appearance. When you're not attractive, chances are you're going to work at the very bottom. If you have mental illness, chances are it's going to prevent you from being able to hold a steady job, or inevitably, it's going to be the reason why you get fired. Because people with autism, on top of being Gen Z, I believe there's a lot of autism in Gen Z. It's just not being called that. I've heard a lot of what is it called, hyperactivity and attention deficit disorders. Like, I can definitely see it in my employee. I've seen it in all of them. It's not just being socially awkward. There's definitely some mental issues that are going on with the younger generation, and I don't think it's entirely their fault. I think it has a lot to do with the way that they absorb information. Like, you and I, as older people, we got to spend a lot of time with books. All my majors at university were a lot of book reading, and we're talking paper books here. Today's generation has a lot of TikTok and YouTube shorts. Let's see. Hello, Gorabo Ghost. Thank you for stopping by to the stream. So, a lot of these younger people grow up with video games. They grow up with on-demand of TV, like Netflix. Like, when I was a kid, you couldn't just binge an entire series of a show, right? You couldn't watch it week after week. Was Susie behind the taco joint? She sure was. She was great too. And she said because it's so close to Christmas, she wasn't going to charge me, but she also saw me pull both my pockets out before we started, and she's just like, oh man, it's that time of the year, huh? Yes, it is. So I went home, took a massive dump, and then I came to the park because I was going to live stream at home, but there's nothing in the background. That's the problem with live streaming from your computer, unless I'm doing something like playing a game, which I can't get into playing video games at all. Like, I connected my console. I have all these games, and I just can't get into it. I wonder, what does that guy have on his handlebars? Like, I just don't have the patience to sit down and play a video game. I'll probably go have my back adjusted at some point. Hello from Pakistan. Oh my God, that is a time difference. It is, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night over there? Jesus Christ. I can't believe you're up this late, but thank you for stopping by the live stream. So I think that Gen Z's biggest problem is consumption of data, and also trying their hardest not to they're trying not to be exploited by a system that needs them to do It's almost midnight, 12. Ooh, yeah, 12-hour time difference between here and Pakistan. I knew it was a big one, but I just didn't know how big. Not quite Australia time gap, but definitely big. Modern games are tedious, woke, watered down junk. You know, I haven't been able to play a video game. Like, I watch people play Call of Duty. Like, I was watching my favorite Call of Duty YouTuber play Call of Duty, and I mean, these players were sliding and jumping, and oh my gosh, we used to get really angry during the first Black Ops game, right? Call of Duty Black Ops 1. And people were dolphin diving, and people used to get so mad about dolphin divers. Right now, it's not like the game's on skates. So what's that? Oh, all right. Unfortunately, we're gonna. This guy. Yeah, Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Podcast in the park.
That's for fun, huh? How much this thing cost?
What? Oh, this 1,500.
What?
1,500.
No, I'm talking about the stand.
Uh-huh.
The stand?
Oh, the stand was 400. Yeah, it's supposed to be super. It's a stand for a high performance camera. So.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, I go to the dollar store and get one of them cheap. I get one of them cheap ones, man, and do it like that, dude.
Nah, it's I do this for money, so.
Just like me, my song right there, me. And I may tell you, I'm #1 on the cloud, SoundCloud.
Good for you.
For the whole year, yeah.
I mean.
I gotta go here.
Yeah.
Some paper spot right there.
Yeah. You heard that here first. You guys hear that? He's been in the park for 28 years, and his music that he's pumping right there, that's his own. So you want to buy a mixtape? Got you covered, man. You meet all kinds of people. I've had to sleep in this park before, you know. Not having money for rent is a problem that's more common in America than you might believe. He's back. You just missed the hobo, eh? He's jamming out in the park. You're gonna have to rewind this and watch him as he comes over to pump up the jam. He seems pretty nice and harmless. I mean, just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. It just means you're a person that's low on funds. If that's actually his music, at least you probably won't get demonetized now. Hopefully. Hopefully I don't get demonetized. Oh, hey, Blue, Blue, you need the money to pay for those dog bites. Oh my gosh, when you told me about the dog bites, Blue is a secret Santa. That guy just said hi to the lady that just passed by. And again, like I said, homeless people aren't bad people. They're just like us. You know, you're talking to a former homeless person that's slept in this park on many, many occasions because you had nowhere to go. Stream, please thank you, Blue, for being such a big fan and such a nice person. Wherever Desi's at, I'm sure she's watching. Same thing. You guys are just really nice people. I'm just busy right now. So you guys I put this in the description, but you guys have been asking me to do a Patreon or do another type of donation because let's face it, YouTube takes a big chunk of everything that you guys donate. You guys are mainly donating to YouTube. And YouTube only pays you like one month ahead of time. You get one payment every 4 weeks. So you don't get paid for what you made in the last 30 days. You get paid what you made in the previous 30 days. So their payment schedule is really, really, really asking for Pete Taco money now. No, 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 no. I'm telling you guys, I don't encourage anyone to donate to this channel at all. Believe me, if I'm I can understand what it's like not to have money. You know, I've been there most of my life, and I want you guys to keep every single penny of your money. But if you guys want to, there's the link there. So I went home after riding my bike, and I created a Cash App, which I have never done before, right? So I'd never used this program before. I imagine it's for selling whatever it is that you sell. Uh, get that money, mess. I don't want you to be broke and homeless. I'm just joshing you, Steam. I know. I don't really. I feel. You know, when I pass that person holding that cardboard sign, that's how I feel about people who come out here and ask for people to donate on the internet. I'll be fine financially as soon as I get paid next Friday. It's just too many bills sometimes come out at the same time. And sometimes when you have auto bill pay, sometimes those bills, you think you're going to make it, and then boom, something else hits you. That neighborhood, safe or not, it all depends where you're at, man. I mean, look at this. There was a lady that almost got right over here, right there. I think it was a year, maybe a little bit longer. There was a lady right over there on that sidewalk that was gonna get banged from behind by a dude out here at the park, and like some ex ball player ran over and beat the guy up because he was just pulling down her pants in the middle of the day. And you know what? It was an old lady too. She was like 60 years old. And this dude was going for it in the park. So I'm sure he was like on drugs or something. John M., I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Take my money. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God, I must have eaten something with a lot of salt. I'm looking a little bit more rough than I'm used to. Okay, can you guys still hear that music? Do I need to move so I don't get a copyright thing going on here? So, anyhow, where I was going with that is that we all have peaks and valleys when it comes to our finances, right? Right now, it just happens to be a deep, deep valley. I haven't experienced this kind of low since, many years. But again, it's just, it's your job. Sometimes a lot of us live off overtime, right? Many of us live off that necessary money from doing overtime. And I'm not doing, it's like the stream pros, it's free. And so when you stop getting overtime and you're left at your base salary, you're going to have to tighten up your belt. And I know a lot of people that don't want to work overtime but have to work overtime. Steve, why are you not at work? Because I'm on vacation for the rest of the year. I was supposed to be on vacation earlier this week, but they wouldn't. Something happened at HR, and they decided to audit all. I guess too many people took all took the same time off. Can you imagine that? Everyone at the corporation wanted to take the same time off, and I even told my boss, it's like, hey, Gen Zero is going to throw a fit if he's not allowed to take this week off. And I'm like, and I explained to him, Gen Zero doesn't care that they haven't been working in a corporation for very long. He started working for me in let's see, August, September, October, and by the time November came around, by the time he realized that he wasn't going to get the holidays off, I could tell. I even messaged my boss, and it's like, you know what, Gen Zero is not going to put up with not having the holidays off. Mariana, thank you so much for your donation. I really, really appreciate it. I prefer that you guys donate through my donation link, but I am not, beggars can't be choosers. So thank you so much for your $10 dono. Like I was saying earlier, I know everyone's strapped for the holidays. I mean, this is a strange Christmas. This is a really, really strange Christmas. What is it with everyone jamming out in the park, man? I feel left out. I feel left out, man. Oh my goodness gracious. So, you know, I'm not going to be one of those people that comes out here. If anything, I'm here just for the ad revenue. In the words of four of our once and future First Lady, who gives a beep about Christmas? You know what? She's a classy lady. I wonder if she's even ever touched the Cheeto. What do you guys think? Has she touched the Cheeto? Or is she just there for the situation? Because I didn't think that they were going to stay together much. After our fearless leader didn't get reelected in the last election, I figured that those two were going to split because there's too many signs of where she's like hid his hand away. Usually when a woman's hitting your hand away, doesn't want you to touch her, doesn't want you even looking at her, that's usually the end of a relationship. She has a child with him, so she definitely had to touch it. He definitely had it his way with her, but then I love when she swiped away his hand during his first term. She keeps swiping away his hand. It wasn't one time. The media is always there with the camera turned on in order to catch those moments, because can you imagine that guy touching you? Ugh, they have to have the most dry, miserable relationship. It's like the relationship we have with money. We want to grab it, but it keeps hitting our hand away. Now that the Cheeto is must sugar baby, I think she's sticking around. She's there for the cash. Hey, you might be onto something. Orange Man probably shaking hands with the governor tonight. You know, that's what's sick is that I picture, you know, women, like there's that woman who said that she wants to be the first woman to have Elon's baby on Mars. And you look at her and she's like drop dead gorgeous and like, ew, you want to have that freaky guy's 13th child? Remember, Elon already has 12 children. It's super gross, man. I'd rather cut it off than do that. The Cheeto in chief is going to be the death of us all. I know. I saw the best bumper sticker the other day on my way to work, and I tried to pull out my camera to film it, but the light turned green. But yeah, you know, I've been saying this for years. Oh my God, Marianne! I hope you pulled the money from YouTube and she donated to the Cash App. So it's the first person on the channel to donate to something I can actually use right now, because we're having poor man lunch today at the park. That's my plan. Maybe she wants a free horse. MS, you need to start a business. This is a business. Content creation isn't easy. Making those videos every day, I don't do it because I want to do it. I do it because I have to do it. Damn. It's like I could be sitting at home. Well, no, I already shook hands. I went home and I shook hands with the governor before I came out to the park. I was like, I better get this out before it gets me in trouble. And I've been into some weird stuff on the internet, man. Weird stuff. Tell us your Cash App, dude. It's $ Millennial Steam. It's in the it's on the banner. Otherwise, we're gonna make Christmas merry for you and YouTube. Exactly. Don't make Christmas merry for YouTube. It's like, just tell YouTube, just like Milana, slap YouTube's hand off your cash. Okay, cool. Yeah, I picked the easiest name possible. $MillennialSteam. It's literally, I couldn't make it any easier. I was trying to, I didn't know what to use. I mean, I've had a PayPal before, but that was years and years ago. I think I had a PayPal like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I think it was during the pandemic. It's towards the end of the pandemic, and boy, those years after the pandemic, the years between transitioning from the pandemic to everything opening again, there was a few weeks there where I was sleeping and I was so worried that I was going to get evicted from my apartment. Of course, now seeing that no one got evicted from their apartments, they kept trying to scare you, right? Like, oh, pay your rent or you're going to get evicted. But I know a lot of people weren't paying their rent. And like, I look at the other side, like right now, just on my row of apartments, just on cell block B, half the apartments are empty right now. And they're just people moving out. And you know why they're moving out? It's the roaches, man. It's the roach problem that's causing people to move the heck out. Like, I don't know what those damn things are eating. How can we, I don't know what that meant. I don't know. She just messaged me a little while ago, and I was working on creating the donation link, so I didn't get a chance to message her back. So, does she think that Musk is an alien, and is he abducting homeless people? I'm a clean freak, and I don't stand seeing dust around my house. I can't even imagine living with cockroaches. Oh, it's awful. I mean, I was kicking and punching them last night in a stupor. I was like, ah! And then I just ran out of the house, and oh my gosh, last night was a really, really strange night. Like, I am beyond frustrated with the situation with work. Like, I'm stressed out at home, and then I'm more stressed out at work because you don't have any job security. And then you come home and you're stressed out about the crappy house that you live in. It's like, if you wanted to create massive mental health crisis in America, this is how you do it. You make people stressed at home, you make people stressed at work, you make people stressed when they're on vacation, because can you imagine spending your entire vacation time sitting at home waiting till you get paid? And this isn't a thing that doesn't happen to people. I've seen this situation over and over and over at every workplace I've ever had. Walmart was by far the worst place to work around poor people. But once the Walmart that I worked at shut down, it went out of business. The call center was my next job, and it was absolutely the same. It's just a different setting and the same poor people there. And how do I put this? Okay, so this is a story that was told to me by one of the supervisors when I worked in retail. He worked in retail in a store, in the grocery store, and his significant other worked at a fast food restaurant. And their employees at midnight would come to pick up paper checks because they didn't have money for doing anything. So they Um, wow. Now that was some jiggle. Ooh-wee. That's what happens when you put Jell-O in yoga pants. So anyhow, God, I just seen so many girls who just don't care anymore. It's like, I'm just gonna wear yoga pants. Okay, all right. Men like yoga pants. So anyhow, picking up your paper check in the middle of the night because you're so poor that you're waiting to eat. And I would see that at Walmart where people would come into the store right before midnight to shop Thursday night at midnight before they got paid at midnight on Friday. It is the season to jiggle, jiggle. Hoo-wee, that was some jiggle. I'm poor, been in and out of prison and jail, rehab my entire life. I just got let go from the best job I ever had. My mother-in-law, my wife, and my kids all depended on me to make good money. Hey, I mean, so is our president. You know, this is the first time we're going to have an active criminal as a president. I mean, think about all the things he is. He's a toucher of women. He's been convicted of dozens of crimes now in order for him, and yet he's still walking the street, man. This guy should have one of those monitoring bracelets on his ankle. That's what that guy should. He should be under White House home arrest. Can they do that to you? I mean, he's a danger to society. Man, that guy looks like a theater professor. Do you guys see that? All black with a long tie. That is what a classic professor of theater looks like. Pasty white, long hair to cover up his balding. That's what he looks like. Oh my goodness gracious. Thing's my best to find a job now. Oh man, believe me, plumber, it is a wretched experience right now looking for any kind of job. Like, I know people right now that have been looking for work for months. Thousands of applications. Just look up applications on YouTube and you will see people who have put in thousands of applications for jobs and they're not getting hired. I mean, being evicted for the holidays, losing your job for the holidays, these things are happening to people right now. That's exactly why I voted for him. Good for you. Let's see. So, did you guys like the broccoli video? Oh my gosh, I was making that video. I saw that comment this morning about Gen Z's broccoli haircuts, and I'm like, I thought it was just me. I thought it was going crazy, just having to see that haircut over and over and over again, and you're just kind of like, what's going on with that shaved broccoli look, man? Hello from Salvador. I couldn't find that place on a map. But that's the only thing that explains his luck. Only thing that explains his luck. Let's see. There's a conspiracy theory that the Cheeto is a time traveler. Maybe it's a bit Tannen from Biff Tannen Back in the Future and the movie thing, but also his uncle was an MIT physics professor. You know, I didn't even stop to think about the similarities between Back to the Future 2 and what we're living in. Because remember, back in the 80s, we still thought we were going to have flying cars like 10 years ago. We don't have the flying cars yet. But guess what? The way that they pictured the future of America with those broken down neighborhoods, Back to the Future 2 was onto something. Marty's old neighborhood has a strong resemblance to large portions of what America looks like right now, especially on the coast, right? San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. Man, those places are experiencing some serious, just dystopian hell. Like, I mean, cool. It's island in the polar region. Oh, island in the polar region. It's those really isolated places up there, right? Yeah. Miami is famous for. Miami's famous for. I say there's a road. Um, there's a road in Miami that's very famous for ladies of the night. What is Miami famous for? Uh, Cuban immigrants? Sorry, I'm late. Work keeps keep making me work. Work keeps making you work. At least at least you had the decency to go to work. Put on your pants and go to work. I did not have that decency today. I had to finish off using all of my vacation time before it went away. After next week, whatever vacation time you didn't use or sick time resets. So I'm not going to be one of those people that has 150 hours of vacation. So you're indecent all the time. Screw work. MS, you're getting popular now. I wouldn't say popular. I would say less popular. Listening to this while sitting at my guard post. Cheers, team. Thank you for serving. It's a thankless job, I'll tell you that much. Do you think Elon Musk is an alien? Yes, I think Desi does know that. When will you show your face? Nothing ever gonna happen. Truly is laugh out loud. The only way that I would come on here and I'd show my face is if I was doing this profession. If this was my full-time job, then I wouldn't care. But unfortunately, I talk about a lot of questionable things, so it's not something I can do. There's a lot of people full of hate at my job. You're chilling nature. I'm chilling across the street from my house. Yeah, oh my gosh, you guys saw me earlier. I was riding around on my bike around my neighborhood. I got above the bridge on College Avenue. I thought I could just hang out up there and film. And yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. I was starting to get sick. Elon is very much a human. He used to talk to them, though. He desperately wants to be seen as a genius. It's snowing in New York City. Enjoy the weather. Ooh, it was cold here. Damn mosquitoes. Bugging crap out of me. I got mosquitoes in the park and roaches at home. Why don't you go to the other place? Why the same place daily? I have seen your previous streams. I come here because I can park my car. Literally, my car is parked right there, and I just come over this hill, and then I come over to this table. That's why I'm here. It's literally the easiest place for me to get to from my car. I'm driving to Florida with my 3 dogs tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that's a long drive, eh? Salvador is continuously snowfall since morning. Oh, good Lord, I couldn't imagine that. It's too damn cold here in Maryland and going to get colder. Yeah, I know. It is cold. Like, and that's why I don't understand people who live on the coast, right? In the northern states. I have lived in Arizona my whole life because it may be hot during the summer, but right now it's the nicest time of the year. Like right now, in the middle of the day, it is, it's trying to tell me what the temperature is. There is no severe, oh, air quality alert. No wonder I was dying up there. It is 70 degrees right now in Arizona in the middle of the day in December. Ooh, I smell some ganja. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, man, somebody is smoking the devil's lettuce. Getting a contact high right now. I like New York City because of the weather changes. Not Christmas without snow. Oh, believe me. I'm a person that hasn't even been to the snow. Here it's like negative 25 degrees. Oh my God. I think my sausage just flew up inside. It's 420 somewhere. Ooh, yeah, it is close to 420 right now. Ooh, wee. Might as well be here. Oh, indeed. God, I don't get that. You know, sometimes I'll be waiting at the light, at a red light, and all of a sudden you look over and the dude right next to you, ooh, he's got the left-handed cigarette and he's looking at you and he's blowing that smoke at you, and you're just like, how do you operate a motor vehicle when you're as high as a kite? You never been to snow? Nope. I lived here in Arizona my whole life, so 420 Fahrenheit. Indeed. Once they legalized it here in Arizona, it's the smells everywhere. In fact, last night while I was watching Call of Duty, because really bored, right? Really bored. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but there is a lot less content being created by the content creators. Like, I am subscribed to like 50 channels, right? And on any given night, there's like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 new posts. Like 402 Outdoors just posted his first ice fishing video of the season. And I think it's great. That woman that he hires to jiggle around in the outdoor videos, top notch. Top notch redneck stuff. But I love it. You know, people just light up anywhere, man. Anywhere. Anything. Can you talk about what you think the future will look like? Dystopian apocalypse. 402 girl is hot. Yes, she is. I love that nose that she's got. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that nose in real life. Like, she's got like a beak nose, like a really weird nose. I like it though. The rest of her is jiggly too. But man, that's the life, man. Those two right there. If he's doing all the editing for 402 Outdoors, that dude is making bank, man. That dude is pulling down 10 grand a month from YouTube, man. $10,000 cash every month doing YouTube. And all he needs is a boob tube girl, some fishing poles, a really, like the trucks he drives. He's driving a $100,000 truck in every one of those episodes. Like, trucks are ridiculous. I was watching a video on the cost of new vehicles now. And I mean, it is absolutely outrageous what a new car costs these days. Absolutely outrageous. Like, I still owe around $25,000 on my current vehicle, and I've been paying on it for 3 years, and I still owe that much money. You're just kind of like, you're never really supposed to own a car. You're always supposed to be making payments, man. It's so weird. Like, this fishing family is really, really strange. Let's see. Nanotech is only a threat if they fully figure out quantum computing. I thought they were still having problems cooling those quantum computers, but they may not. Let's see. Low I own a BMW 2 Series at 23. That's a hell of a car. I mean, the Promobile isn't exactly the ideal vehicle, but I'll tell you what, anything is better than riding the bus. I always thought that if I couldn't get the right car, I couldn't afford the right car, that I would just stay on the bus because I didn't want to have to deal with making car payments and not being able to afford car repairs. And when I talked to that nurse about 3 weeks ago, I think her name was Mandy, it was obvious to me that the proles sometimes get into some bad situations when it comes to unreliable cars. And unreliable cars can mean that you're still taking the bus and paying for that car while you're waiting to make enough money to be able to fix your car. There's a new plan to put data centers on tribal land. Sounds like a bad idea to me. That's got the making of a sci-fi story beginning. Well, it's funny. Yesterday, I had the head network guy in my office. And I was asking him, it's like, is the new data center going to be ready by the end of this year? And he's like, not a chance. And the reason why they're not going to do another data center is because they're switching to all cloud-based computing. They're not going to do file servers. They're not going to do any type of serving from internal computers. It's all going to go onto the cloud. And they already moved a lot of the file shares onto a SharePoint site. In fact, yesterday we were having a hell of a time. I might actually be coming back into the office when I finally return and getting an earful about how the head of HR couldn't get a working computer. And a lot of it has to do with using anyone that they have on site as all of the support on site. So they took they took a programmer, told him that he needed to fix HR's computer, and I knew from the get-go it wasn't going to go well. Yeah, because Bezos into that. Amazon Web Services is doing a lot of cloud service providing for corporations. I think that I don't know who they're using, honestly. Bezos and Musk and Cheeto has dinner on Wednesday at Mar-a-Lago. Wow, cute duck in the water. There's lots of ducks out there. Every one of those little dark masses is a duck. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 ducks in the picture. There's even more over there. Bezos. I'm so used to, I'm an old school technology guy, right? I started out in computers, a long, long time ago. Let's just put it that way. And when I started in computers, we had all of our servers were actually physically in our office. Like you had your servers running right there where you had to listen to them, keep them cool. It was really, really obnoxious. And now we're having to spend money or the company's having to spend money on making certain that there's a backup solution. Because for a long time, this company didn't have any sort of backup solution. If the servers went down, that was the end. If the servers got attacked with ransomware, if anything happened to them, there was no backup. And it was, I remember sitting around talking with the top of the tech in our department, and I was like, what's our backup plan? He's like, no backup plan. If it goes down, it goes down. How young are the people working? We only have one Gen Z in the entire department. And that, like I said, it's like we're having to replace them every 3 to 6 months. And I think that's where, from all of the articles that I've read about firing and hiring Gen Z, they last about 3 months and then people get tired of them. The social awkwardness, the lack of basic computer skills, the fact that they don't want to be in office, they don't like how low their wages are. Jobs don't even pay enough for job related expenses these days. Absolutely not. I mean, look at what it costs to have a job, right? My car cost about $12,000 to operate a year between, actually, it's more than that. With added maintenance, I would say about $12,000 to operate per year just to get you to work, right? Then you've got housing costs, which is $24,000. That wipes out nearly half your paycheck. And then you add food onto that. Good Lord, there's absolutely nothing left. And you're kind of, I find myself scratching my head like this is the most money I've ever made in my entire life. And yet you're getting nickel and dimed. Like yesterday I was watching a video on how subscription services are destroying people because they want everything to be a subscription service. Your phone, your car, your software, I mean, your computer. I mean, everything is a subscription service. And now that people don't want to leave their homes, you're subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max. I mean, it's just, oh my God. Do you have a mushroom haircut? Hell, I don't know have a mushroom haircut. When I was a kid, I comb I still part my hair on the side, right? I'm still old fashioned like that. And I hated that, right? Because my mom always wanted us to have like haircuts that were presentable for church. So I always had that haircut, that just parted on the sides, like Stephen Colbert style. That's how I wear my hair. But I got so tired of it when I was like 13, and I got some money from doing a job, right? I was cutting someone's lawn, and I finally got my own money. So I went across the street and I told the barber, "Give me a mohawk." So he gave me a mohawk. And just to teach me a lesson, my mom shaved the rest of my head down to the scalp, right down to the scalp. And I had to look at myself with a bald head for the next 6 months until my hair grew back so I could part it on the side again. You're one of those humans who needs food. I'm one of those human beings that needs love. Unfortunately, love for the average proletariat man involves that seedy place I showed you guys that says massage in the window with the neon sign and the drapes pulled down all the way in front of the store, right? You know these places. They're in every strip mall in America. You drive past them or you walk past them, whichever, and you're walking past a storefront, and suddenly you see long curtains. It's all black inside, right? Just the curtains. And then you look, there's just one car there. And you're like, okay, how many women do they have working in the back? Can we see your haircut? No, you can't see my haircut. Okay, then you're allowed to stay. Laugh out loud. I watched a video of a guy who has subscriptions for his mattress. Oh my God. This is how old I am. So the company Allied Waste, they got bought out during the financial crisis, right? But I worked there. And we had these supercomputers, an AS400. I don't know how many of you guys know what that is, but an AS400 used to be an IBM computer, a mainframe computer for running both commercial and residential pickups of trash. And that computer you can buy with different options. But all the options are already built in. But you pay for how many processors you want. So they're all in there. The AS400 comes with, I think, 3 or 4 processors, right? But depending on how much you want to spend, that's how much you pay. So if your computing necessitates you have one processor, you pay one price. If you need another one, you pay another price, and then you pay more. And so that's the first time I ever saw that. And then all of a sudden I heard, last 6 months that certain luxury brands of cars are charging you more money for performance. Tesla, I think, charges you like a $10 monthly fee to access their app or something ridiculous. I think BMW charges you for heated seats. Let's see. Okay, then you're okay. I watched a video of a guy who has love that too. So needy. Human beings are so needy. They need food. They need love. They need a love glove. They need shelter. They need entertainment. They need more love. I heard that they're going to turn off the hub in Florida, so you're going to need a lot more love in Florida. But think of it. They're willing to turn off the hub, but there's a place that offers what you need. I can walk from my house to an Asian massage parlor now. That's how close. We all live so close to these places. Yep. Yes, GPS shortcuts and lights. Oh my goodness gracious. So they're charging you for everything as a subscription service. And then you wonder at the end of the month, like, how can I afford this? The reality is we can't afford it. That's why I'm saying this, and I'm saying this for millions of people. This is one of the most economically troubled holiday seasons we've ever had in our entire lives. I've never heard the term doom spending. But that's what happened on Black Friday this year. They had record sales because people just didn't care about paying their credit cards anymore because they don't have any ID. They require ID just to access the pawn. It's a violation of our rights. I should be able to see a naked woman anytime I want. I shouldn't have to show an ID, which reminds me of a story of when I was going to university. There was I guess this kid hadn't heard of the internet, right? So they still have paper. We're gonna do the feet cam. All right, so they still have paper magazines with naked chicks, right? In this convenience store that was across the street from the university. And one of the cashiers caught a foreign student. I'm sure he was from the Middle East somewhere. And he stuck a dirty magazine in his jacket. Can you imagine having a 20-something-year-old girl, tell you to pull the dirty magazine out from inside your jacket? Oh my God. I would rather just end things right there. I don't think I could ever pull a dirty magazine out of my jacket and have to put it back on the shelf. Like, you know what he was going to do with that, right? He was going to do things to himself. Dirty, nasty things to himself with that magazine. And when I was in elementary school, I had this friend. I guess I wouldn't call him a friend. He was a kid that I knew from school. And he lived really, really close to school. And every afternoon after school, we went to go look at his dad's collection of dirty magazines. And it was huge. I remember thinking back to it. It's 3 feet tall subscription magazines. And I was just like, oh my God. And one of my my mom's many bedroom friends, he would keep those magazines under his mattress on his side of the bed. And I was just like, How could any woman let a man look at that stuff while she sleeps next to him? Oh my God. In fact, I've had women who say that looking at that stuff while you're in a relationship is considered cheating. Like, cheating. I was like, I need to start watching, let's see, adult documentaries while it's still allowed. That's vintage. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. That's, let's see. Yeah. Yes. Goes, shortcuts, and lights. Yeah. Nude mags. Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't think because I have been downloading provocative images since the floppy disk age, right? I still have them in my closet in a small plastic container. I have about, I'd say 50 floppy disks with my smut from the 90s. And I mean, this was back then when we had dial-up connections, so you'd have to sit there and wait for it to come down line by line. How unaffordable will our lives be in 5 years? I've asked myself that question on many occasions. Like, my rent's gone up from 500 to 2,000 in the last 5 years. I couldn't imagine that at that rate what rent's going to look like. And you know what? The wages aren't going to go up. There's just going to be more and more homeless people. A says, I found my granddad's stash of 1960s dirty rags after he died, but then I had seen a lot of stuff online. It was a simpler time. You know, it was a simpler time. Like, I asked someone to send me just some dirty pics, right? And she sent me something, and I was mortified. But what I was seeing, I just asked for a look, a little peek, and then she's just like the full Monty thing going on. I mean, it was a full 10-minute cam girl session, and I was like, I'm not old enough to see this. That's what I thought. In 5 years, we could be in a hyperinflation easily. In 4 years, by the time the president in Cheeto leaves the office, we are going to be in a bad state of affairs. I was told that at some point the housing market will collapse, but by then people won't be able to afford the upkeep. I was watching a video on the collapse of the housing market and why it's going to collapse, because there are too many rich people holding on to properties waiting for them to, they're not being used. They're just waiting for them to gain more value so they can make more money. So they're purposely holding all of this real estate across the entire country as an investment. And because they're holding so many properties, whole chunks of our society are owned by rich people that don't want people living in them. They're just using them as placeholders for more money. It's the greed that's really destroying our society. Let's see. Used to be able to work for 40 hours at Radio Shack or Circuit City, selling VCRs, raise a whole family on that. Now you work 2 to 3 jobs to try and not die of starvation and homelessness. This is what lunch looks like today. And I stole this from work. The last time I was on vacation, I was eating in the park. This time, I'm starving in the park. Yep. I bring home water from work so that I have bottled water at home. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Stranger Things, right? Where, what is it? Ray, oh gosh, the mom of the kids that help Eleven, Winona Ryder. Her character, single mom, raising 2 teenage boys while working in a electronics store or working in some sort of convenience store. How is she even able to do that? Like, my mom, at the same time period, had 5 kids, was a single mom, worked a cleaning job, and because she did, she's basically self-employed, right? She's a stereotypical Consuelo, right, from Family Guy. That was my mom. And even though that's all she could do was clean houses. Yeah, I feel that. I just got the comment on one of my videos that says you don't want to get out of bed in the morning. You don't want to get out of bed in the morning because what's the point? You're going to go to a crummy job you don't like. Your boss is going to give you that same disgusted look because he doesn't approve of your work attire. I mean, I've literally been told to change my shoes at work because they didn't feel like it was professional. And I didn't realize that you're not. I wear graphic tees every day, right? Like, I went from never wearing anything on my shirt to rebelling against the system because for years I don't like collared shirts because I have a really thick neck and the collar always digs into my side, so I always have like a sore on the side of my neck anytime I have to wear a collared shirt. So I started wearing just regular t-shirts just that were one color, and then one day I came to the conclusion, what does it matter what I wear to work? And guess what? To the people in charge, what you wear to work represents how invested you are in your employment. And when you see what some people wear to work, like if you wear sweatpants with anything, right? Anything more casual than sweatpants, an oversized t-shirt, and an oversized hoodie, then obviously you don't care about your job, which is the classic uniform of Gen Z. It's oversized hoodies, showing up at to work, and what do they call it? Coffee badging. You guys saw that? Did I talk about that this week? What coffee badging is? So, and I used to do this too. I didn't know that's what the term was called. You come into work, you pick up a coffee, you say hi to all your coworkers, and right around lunchtime, you're never seen again. And corporations have started looking at data of tracking login data for these people. And when it comes to firing people, they promote the people who come in early and stay late, and then they fire the people who they see are leaving early every single day, which I had no problem for. I did it for many years where I just come in a couple times a week, clock in, look around, see if we needed anything in the office. It wasn't necessary for me to be there for any reason. There's absolutely no reason for people to be in the workplace right now. And then I'd go home. And of course, when you're at home, you can just do anything you want. It's a great thing about working remote. I mean, you got one hand on the governor, you got one hand on the mouse, and you're okay. You're working. I mean, you're working it hard. You're beating the hell out of it, man. I work for the government full time, and I can't move out of my parents' condo. I'm on my 30s. Yeah, I work with guys right now that are in their 40s that had to move back home. A lot of them are divorced fathers who don't see their children. A lot of them are. In fact, I would say not having children is very strange right now in the environment that I'm in. I think Gen Zero and myself are the only people oh great. Oh Lord. So it's perfectly normal for people to not how do I put this? There are too many people in the workplace right now that do not have children that are expected to have children, and they're sitting in the same offices as people who are struggling to pay their rent, along with people who don't have children. So I often ask myself, I ask myself this question every day. How do these people, how do they afford kids while making the same amount of money that I have? And the answer is that they can't. And that's why they're living with their parents in their 40s, because they can't afford to have children. The children weren't something that they thought about. They didn't go in and bang it out with Susie Rottencrotch for 15 seconds. And oh my God, I heard this joke yesterday. It's a very crude joke. Actually, I better not say this joke because it might offend a lot of people. But you leave Susie Rottencrotch with a full belly, right? And she has to deal with that inconvenience because she thinks you're going to stick around, right? And once the thing pops out of Susie and you realize, oh my God, I got to pay for it now, men usually move to the next town over. Getting up for work sucks, but at least you've got all those fun adventures, chores to look forward to when you get off, right? Yeah, exactly. You leave one prison to go to the other prison. You leave work prison to go to your home prison, which is just another cell. As I've said it before, America's the work release program. You work all day at Evil Corp, then you come home to your cell and all your delightful pests, your disgusting little house. And then what I like to do is I like to look at the other people that live in my apartment complex and ask myself, what did they do wrong in order to have to live here too? Because I consider any person that's living in subpar housing right now, I'm assuming that they did something wrong to have to be punished to the point where they have to live here. The same thing I think about when I think of people who got a low quality education, right? You know, when I was at community college, and there were thousands of people there, all going to community college in order to get a better life. They don't tell you when you sign up at community college that this is a low rate school that chances are will not amount to anything. In fact, I was talking to the president of my company the other day, and he said that people who don't appreciate smaller schools are just snobs. They don't appreciate that some people don't have 4 years to spend going to a proper school. You can't think like that. Poor people often didn't do anything wrong or not enough to justify their plight. No one's perfect, and neither are the rich. The rich can afford to make mistakes with their lives. The rich can afford to waste their time at an Ivy League school getting a degree in English literature. Johnny Sixpack from the ghetto can't make the same mistakes. He can't go to a state cheap, no-name school, get a degree, and think that his life is going to change, which is what I did. I made a lot of mistakes with my educations. Like you've said many times, a lot depends on generational support and wealth, especially now. And that's really what it comes down to, is the family doesn't have the resources for you not to be working. A lot of problems with low income families is that they force their children to start working at a very young age. Children have to work at whatever job as soon as they're old enough. In fact, one of the office girls told me that as soon as her oldest child is capable of getting a job, she's going to force him to get a job to help pay for day-to-day expenses. Now, this puts you in a bad position because now you're not going to be able to spend your time getting the experience you need, because a lot of employers don't want to pay for these internships. So you need to spend your time developing the experience that they don't want to pay you for free. Yeah, there was a study that said poor people have to basically have no problems happening to them for 20 years. No emergencies, car problems, issues with the law, That's impossible. They also have to get incredibly lucky to get a good job and keep it. Let's see. Luigi's rich. Hopefully he'll get off. Oh my God, they're already talking about giving him the death penalty. So we'll see how that turns out. Because if they're already thinking about it, I think corporate America is going to try to make an example of him. That you don't mess with corporate America. That's, I think, the message that they're going to say. Things are the way they are, and they're going to stay the way that people don't like them. They know people don't like the healthcare system. They are very well aware that we've wanted universal healthcare for a long time. Universal basic income, universal housing, all the public programs that the proletariat needs because they're not being paid enough in order to support themselves. And they will never be. Once they saw that the proletariat wasn't fighting back against unfair wages, they realized that, you know what, we can keep pushing them down further and further and further, and we can keep extending the work week from 40 to 80 to 120 hours. You imagine working 120 hours a week while you're just surviving? It's awful. Do you think the assassin had an accomplice? Yes, I do. Also, he knew about the meeting location before it was announced, so he may have been an inside job. I think if someone showed up and said, hey, Mr. Can't Get a Bone, do you want to take this to the next level? And he said yes. I mean, he's a 26-year-old guy with no bone. So, in my opinion, what's he got to live for? He's not going to be boning any ladies. I mean, in jail, he's going to see plenty of Fleece Johnson in the hole. Tell you that much. And I've seen comments that have said he better get real ugly real fast if he's going to go in there because things are going to get real lovely unless he ends up like an Epstein character. Suddenly, he's just gone. Because there was no way that a guy like Epstein was going to go to trial and start naming names. Mr. Can't Get a Bone, he's hot and will make a high-value prison wife. That's why I'm saying power bottom is a term I learned about yesterday. I like the power top. I used to taunt the kids at Walmart when I worked there about being a power top. And they would be like, you can't be a power top. I'm like, yes, you can. What do you think of 100% inheritance tax? I think that if you're going to do that, you should just give the money to your kids or spend all the money before the government takes it away. You should spend every single dime of it rather than letting the government take it away. Besides, what does the government need more money for? Spend it on unpopular wars, spending it on luxury housing, spending it on crap. Twitter told me Bishop TD Jake is a power bottom. I don't understand. What does a power bottom mean? That you strap one on? I mean, for the rich and powerful, if you have 100% inheritance tax, there'd be no way to convince people to really be proles for the rest of their lives. The deal for immigrants, as always, work hard and now so your kids will have it better. But sadly, that's now less and less true. That's very not true. I agree with that. I think that that typically, at least I'm a first generation immigrant, right? Parents came straight from the third world. And that's what they believed. They thought, my mom's like, oh, I'm just going to work really hard, make sure my kids go to college, make sure my kids have an education, and that's going to be enough to lift them up into the middle class. Well, guess what? It wasn't. bottom means that they can AKA if pretty well. They can take it pretty well. Like you still uh, feel pain, but you can take a jackhammer, so to speak. That's what a power bottom is? Oh, Lord. I had no idea what that referred to other than it sounded pretty cool. A power bottom is a male pain taker. Oh my God, thanks. I was going to have to Google that. Oh, Lord. I'm going to have to put that into the hub. I want to see what a power bottom looks like. I should have asked ChatGPT what that is. Oh my God. Sheesh. Yes, that's what a power bottom is. The more you know. I mean, so anyone that can take a lot back there is going to be a power. It's a man on man thing. I think there should be a max of money people can have, like 10 million. No, don't do that, Steam. I don't think that I could handle that. Like, I think my rear's good. Real good. Very good. Very, very good. Checking in. What's up? What's up, Orange Cheeto Man? How'd it go? I'm sorry you lost the vote last night to for the keeping the government running. I hope you guys don't shut down the government, because the last time the government got shut down, we couldn't go to a national park until they fixed it. I mean, the only people that had to stay on the job the last time the government shut down was law enforcement and air traffic controllers, I believe. The force manager, or also sadistic prison guards had to keep going to work. Preparing for tariffs. Ooh, I think preparing for tariffs is a power bottom. It's a Choco Taco thing, MS. Oh, Lord, a Choco Taco thing. Cheeto Man, are you Elon Musk's sugar baby? Ooh, Elon. Is Elon a power bottom? Each time government shuts down, hubby and I always had to work, but this time I don't. Ooh. Government shutdown. Furloughs. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, a government shutdown would set the precedence for the upcoming administration. It would clearly show that these crazy MAGA folks don't have your best interest in mind. Because there's nothing worse than making very low pay than not making any pay. Shut it down. Oh my gosh. Shut it down. Thank God. Wait, if you work for a state school, is that still the government? I guess technically it is, right? Yeah. Shut it down. Shut it down, Cheeto Man. Shut it down. Be a power bottom. Shut it down. Give it to her. I mean, I guess you're giving it to Johnny Sixpack and not Susie Rottencrotch in this situation, right? Oh my God, I could just definitely see something leaking out with Trump and Elon. I guess Trump would be the power bottom, wouldn't he? Or who would be the power who? Or is there any power there? Maybe there's no power. Maybe I'm thinking they're out of power. If you work for the state university, it's the state government, not federal. Oh, that sucks. You missing my messages, MS. I do not see anything for you, Savannah Rodriguez. Let me see. I don't see anything from you. What are you talking about? I don't see anything in the chat for you. I'm going all the way back. I don't see nothing. I'm sorry, Samantha Rodriguez. I didn't mean to miss your message. Moved to New York recently. Gotta love how much poontang pie there is here. Well, there's definitely not enough in Arizona. I mean, if there's a new Asian massage parlor right behind my back, the second I turn around, they got more women offering the old in and out for a price. Trump would be the bottom. Not sure of power because Elon paying for his legal fees. Yeah, the male to female ratio in New York City favors men for sure, like 8-1. Oh my God! I heard that the speed dating is 9-1. Speed dating 9-1. Oh my God! Why do you have to pay taxes if the government isn't printing money? I don't know. Cheeto is into water sports. Oh my God, that makes sense. I mean, who isn't into water sports? I mean, everybody likes water sports. It's warm, it's salty, it's plentiful. You know, there's no shortage of water sports because it's always there. It's like the mud sports in the back, right? You play with the mud and then you get cleaned up with the water sports. So get dirty and then get dirtier. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, guys, I gotta go home and work on a video, and then I'm going to, I gotta go pick up a key from the front office because they changed the locks on the facilities. And last night I closed a door of one of the facilities, and neither myself or my downstairs neighbor had a key to get in. We both had the old key, but we didn't have the new key, so I gotta go get one of those keys. And they filmed him in Russia. That's what Comey told him where he was, the Facebook director. Bye, MS. Keep it clean and bright. Keep it wrinkled. I'm gonna go home and work on a video, and then I am going to be live streaming. I'm gonna try to live stream every day during the week next week. I don't like being here on the weekends because there's too many people here and I'm uncomfortable filming the general public, so I am not going to do that. Merry Christmas as a filthy animal. Oh Lord. We're gonna have to help you filter yourself. Bye guys. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next live stream. I don't know, I'll probably live stream from home. I just don't want to be at the park on the weekends because there's too many people here. Who knows? It might just be Marty Thean. Thank you, Marty, for coming to the live stream. Thank you, everyone else who's here. Thank you guys for supporting me on YouTube. I really appreciate it. All I really ask is for you guys to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. All that stuff helps me battle the evil algorithm to get anything out of doing this.